This is a pneumatic machine that is capable of converting potential energy into kinetic energy. Teka muna. Ano daw? Hi everyone, Captain Van. This is a air compressor. Paano gamitin at kung saan ginagamit? Stay tuned. Let's go! This air compressor is sent by Powerhouse, 1 horsepower, 30 liters ang capacity ng tank, electric motor, and silent type. Hindi siya ginagamitan ng oil, hindi rin siya piston type. So it's just an electric motor and tahimik. Basic operation or basic parts. This is the pressure gauge. It will tell you kung ilan yung laman na hangin sa kanyang tank. Meron siyang red limit. At around 120, magsa-stop na yung karga ng kanyang hangin. This is the valve. This is in off position. If you put it there, it will release the pressure. Yan. So naka-close. Kanina, we turn it on. So it released some pressure. Ito yung motor, air filter, and the 30 liters capacity tank. 750 watts, 70 liters per minute. Basic function ng air compressor. Marami siyang type. We'll just focus on silent type and oilless. So in our case, it's 30 liters. From the motor itself, hihigop siya ng hangin. Yung hangin na yon, mako-compress or malalagay dito sa ating 30 liters tank. Now, pag napuno na yung hangin na yon, automatically magsasara yung valve. Computerized na yan, hindi natin mababago. Came out from the factory na ganyan na yan. In this case, at 120 PSI, automatically mag-shut off yung valve. Ang ibig sabihin nun, yung hangin sa loob ng ating tank na na-compress, it's convertible into kinetic energy once ma-release na siya doon sa valve. So it can power several tools. It's used in dentistry, woodworking, vulcanizing, and even for DIYers. Maraming function ito. Later, I will show you several tips kung saan nyo pwede itong gamitin. Pros and cons. Pros, number 1, tahimik. Electric motor, hindi siya maingay, katulad ng mga other compressor na piston-based and merong oil. Number 2, yung 30 liters na tank, madali lang i-store. It's very ideal for tight spaces, kagaya ng meron ako dito in dentistry, sa mga clinics, kaya ito yung kalamitang ginagamit nila. Number 3, maintenance. Madali lang i-maintain. You just have to drain the valve dito sa ilalim to release the water moisture na natatrap sa loob at hindi kalawangin yung ating tank. And at some point, you have to replace the air filter kung madumi na. Other than that, basically, that's it. The only con na nakikita ko dito sa air compressor, it's its limitation sa several pneumatic tools. Basically, it's just designed for small air tools tulad ng air blower. Pwede ka mag-paint finish dito, but I'll tell you, mabibitin ka. If you want to go for a higher spec na air compressor, you go for at least mga 3 horsepower or 5 horsepower with a bigger tank. To operate, pagka nilagay natin yan sa auto position, yan, automatically it will turn on. Then, look at the pressure gauge. Unti-unting aakyat yan hanggang it reach its limit. In this case, around 120 PSI. At 120 PSI, nag-automatically shut off yung kanyang valve. To use the compressed air, you just have to turn on the valve and close. That's it. Now, in this type of compressor, wala siyang kasamang pressure regulator. So, ang ginagawa lang naman yun is it will calibrate kung ano yung required PSI ng certain pneumatic tool na gagamitin ninyo. Ang meron lang dito is yung kanyang pressure indicator, which only tell kung ilan yung pressure na laman ng iyong tangke. So that's it. In our case, I have a pressure regulator. So you can get this at Lazada or Shopee. It has a water separator and this regulator and a gauge. So ikabit natin. There. Now it's installed. All we have to do is to put the air hose on the other end. So what I have here is a air hose. It is different from the water hose na ginagamit natin sa garden. This is specifically designed for high pressure. So if you're going to use an air compressor, make sure that you use the proper hose. This is called a air duster. Ginagamit ito if you want to spray on dusty areas of your machines or tools or project para lang malinis. Ang control niya will be this one. This is the valve. So to operate this, to adjust the required PSI, you just have to pull it upward clockwise, meaning you want to increase the air pressure dito. So if you're, for example, right now it is on 60 PSI, your tool requirement is around 80 PSI. So you just have to move the knob clockwise para mag-increase siya. So that's 70 until it reach, let's say for example 75. Ayan. To lock it, just press it and then you're good to go. Yan. So every time you use your tool, it will just maintain 75 PSI. Kung gusto niyo naman magbawas ng pressure or you want to dial down a lower PSI requirement, for example 60, same concept, pull the valve upward and then this time counterclock. Yan. You will hear a hissing sound, meaning it is releasing pressure, and until you reach your desired PSI of, in this case, 60. So once we reach 60, push it down to lock. So yan, 60. Now I will just focus here doon sa kanyang water separator tank. So what it does, it traps the water moisture or the water vapor na nasa hangin para hindi pumunta sa inyong power tool. It's very important, lalo na if you're using pneumatic tools na sensitive sa tubig. Kung makikita ninyo, meron siyang konting tubig. Yan. So, na-separate na niya, and then yung pumapasok na hangin papunta sa ating air hose is just a dry air. I will put the lever sa auto position so that it will ensure that if it reach its minimum PSI, automatically kakarga siya. There. At around 85 PSI, automatically nag-turn on yung motor. Right now, it's charging again until it reaches 120 PSI. What I have here are several pneumatic tools that I have here at my garage. This is the air duster. Yan, I use this to spray those dust. I also have here yung tire inflator. So I just connect here sa aking air hose using the air compressor. Then I can increase the tire pressure. Here I have a pneumatic grinder or polisher. It's a mini polisher. Maliit lang yung kanyang nail file. Ideal for metalworks and woodworking. If I have some small projects or small detail na kailangan kong i-polish, I use this one. Also, I have a pneumatic mini sander. Again, for woodworking or metalworks, na re-replace Velcro type yung tip. Yan. So, for smaller details sa inyong project. And of course, ito yung aking sprayer, paint sprayer. Gamit ko ito every time I apply sanding sealer or paint doon sa aking mga projects. Every after use, make sure to drain the water out of the tank with this valve. There you go, everyone. If you want to know more about this machine, I will make sure to put all the specifications doon sa ating description box. And if you want to know more about Powerhouse and their variety of tools that they offer in the market, check them out on their Facebook account, or you can visit them physically on their Powerhouse store. Thank you, Powerhouse, for sending this air compressor. Malaking bagay to in addition to my shop and at the same time in doing my future projects. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Visit nyo rin yung aking Facebook account, Kapitantero, to know more about the latest updates na meron tayo dito sa ating channel. So palaguin lang po natin. Tuloy-tuloy lang po natin palaguin yung ating channel. Maraming salamat po sa suporta ninyo. This has been your Captain, Van Ranyowa. Stay safe everyone, and see you again in our future builds.